Hello, I apologize that the last set of notes got cut off, so this will quickly finish up the end of Napoleon's life. Where we left off is Napoleon invading Russia in 1812. And the reason he invaded Russia was because he was irritated that the Russians were not following his continental system. And what the continental system was his way of trying to economically destroy the Brits. He attempted to destroy the Brits on water with the Battle of Trafalgar and didn't win. So with the continental system is he told all other European countries that they were not allowed to trade with Britain. The reason this isn't going to work is because that A, most of the other countries in Europe are sick of Bonaparte, and B, they also like trading with Britain. And the reason why they like trading with Britain is because of Britain's massive colonial empire. So it's not going to work. He gets irritated with the Russians and he invades Russia. Same thing is going to happen when the Nazis invade Russia. What the Russians do is called the scorched earth policy, and basically their mentality is if they can't have their land, bad guys certainly are not going to enjoy their land. And so the French are successfully plowing through Russia, just like the Nazis will successfully plow through Russia. Historians refer to General Winter as what saves Russia twice, because the French, as well as the Nazis in the 1940s, were not properly equipped to withstand the Russian winter. So the French retreat, Napoleon returns to massive amounts of people wanting him gone. So he's forced to abdicate. What's going to start in 1814 is the Congress of Vienna. Basically, the Congress of Vienna is when representatives from all the European countries meet in Vienna for about 8 months, and they discuss how they're going to fix Europe to go back to the way it was before Bonaparte messed it up. We'll talk extensively about this in January after the holiday break. Napoleon is exiled to Elba. Elba is a tiny island off the coast of Italy, and he keeps the title of Emperor of Elba. It's kind of a slap in the face, and he also receives about 2 million francs a year. Again, slap in the face. This, grand master of Europe is resorted to this tiny beach island as the emperor of it. The entire time he is writing letters to and from people secretly, to and from people in France, kind of plotting his return to France. What's going on back in Paris while he's away is King Louis XVIII returns to the throne. Why, you may ask? Well, part of the Congress of Vienna is restoring the legitimate ruler back to thrones throughout Europe. And the legitimate ruler of France is King Louis XVIII, who is a Bourbon, who is the younger brother of Louis XVI. You may be wondering, well, what about Louis XVII? Well, if you recall, he had a son. His son and daughter were in jail at Tuileries Palace. The son eventually died in jail. So he is the 17th, thus younger brother is Louis XVIII. Louis XVIII, big loser. No one likes him. They like him less than Louis XVI. Keep in mind he ran away during the French Revolution, and not a lot of credibility. So he's the king of France. Bonaparte is eventually able to sneak back into Paris. The king forces troops to go take him down. When they see him, they're so overwhelmed, they're so excited to see him that they actually join with him again. He moves back into Tuileries, and he lives in Tuileries for 100 days. It's actually called the 100 days. And as you can imagine, the surrounding European countries pretty irritated. So there's a coalition, Britain, Prussia, and at the Battle of Waterloo, he is finally once and for all beaten. He is then sent to an island called St. Helena. St. Helena is off the coast of Africa on the west coast, tiny island, and the whole reason for going so far is, well, clearly in Elba, he was too close. He was under house arrest, and there were British soldiers monitoring him constantly. The Brits were the ones who were super irritated with Napoleon. I mean, he really had it out for the Brits, so they were super excited to monitor him. Sorry about that. So he will remain his life on St. Helena. He will eventually die in 1821, and there's a historical debate. He did have stomach cancer, which I imagine is a large reason why he died. However, when his body, the autopsy did find traces of arsenic. Now, here's the deal. Yes, a Brit, as you can imagine, probably irritated having to babysit him for days and days and days and days. Possibly could have put arsenic in his wine. Also, it's believed that, he was under house arrest. He was in his house an awful lot back in the day. Arsenic was used in the paint, so he could have just been breathing it in on a day-to-day basis. Who knows? Maybe it was a combination. We do have proof, though, that while he was on this final island, he was very courteous, very kind to the Brits. But still, regardless, they were probably irritating having to deal with him. Um, Basically, the end, these last notes, just something to think about. The whole concept of total war, military genius, the draft, these are all things to think about as we go into really real modern day history and going to completely change the warfare and how wars are being fought and the military genius behind people like Otto von Bismarck, Adolf Hitler, etc. Um, just, evaluation of Bonaparte, positive, negative as things that he did. That is all that I have for you. If there's anything else I can help you with, please let me know. Remember, you will be taking your test at your convenience Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday by 4 p.m. There will be two um, boxes left in the, I don't know what you call it, social studies conference room in Mr. Smith's old office, right next to Miss Ide's classroom, starting Monday morning. Thank you and good night.